Imagine you're a young soldier in the 1938 Spanish Civil War. As you push past the trenches, lights go off, and you wake up in a hospital. You feel pretty okay. You don't feel any pain really. But there is something wrong with the world. It's backwards, upside down, and the colors seem to not stick to objects. You'd think either this is afterlife or you're tripping on acid. Neither was the case of patient M, who got shot in the head, lived to see the world backwards for another 50 years, and helped neurology make big discoveries. Welcome to another interesting episode of Blank Note. The patient, whose identity was respectfully kept anonymous, was injured while fighting on the Valencian front during the brutal Spanish Civil War in May 1938. Despite the shot in the head, he made it to the hospital and was somehow able to survive without surgery or any special care. The examination revealed that the bullet had partially destroyed the outer back layers of his brain on the left-hand side. The bullet got in, got out, didn't do no harm. Or so they thought at first. 2 weeks later, when patient M finally regained consciousness, he realized he was not the same anymore. He could still see, but upside down and also backwards. Other patients' beds in his room would stick to the ceiling instead of the floor. He could also read letters and numbers printed normally and back to front, without his brain being able to see any difference between the two. Doctors would talk to him, but many times he couldn't tell if they were talking straight or backwards. After full physical recovery, the hospital had to let him go, because other than this strange effect, everything else was perfectly normal. Once back into the world, even more madness. He found it strange that workers in scaffoldings would work upside down. Luckily for him, the symptoms would come and go, even though on a very frequent basis. And according to the doctor who discovered his case, he was able to have a very normal life, despite everything. Now, the number one limiter for neurology development is the fact that you cannot do experiments on humans. So, whenever curious brain injuries happen, that is a great day for doctors and medicine, as dreary as that might sound. And this is where the man who documented the case comes into the picture. Neurologist Justo Gonzalo Rodrigo Leal was working at the Godella Military Health Hospital in Valencia that August when patient M was hospitalized. The fascinating case of patient M became the subject of regular journals as the duo became friends and took on half a century-long study on the human brain. During further testing, Dr. Gonzalo wrote down many other symptoms, like colors not sticking to objects. Sometimes he would experience color blindness, and his hearing and touching sensors were inverted. However, that would even work. Other than video editing, there is no actual way to realize what a day in his life would look like. Unfortunately, this strange case happened a bit early in technology years. What science is doing today with brain sensors would have cleared away so many neurology questions. Nonetheless, the documentation of his experience helped to pave way for one of the most supported contemporary theories on how the human brain works. Backed by this testimony, Dr. Gonzalo published a 2-volume book where he suggested that the brain is not composed of different parts which can work independently from one another, which was the most backed up theory back in the day. He proposed the effects of brain damage depend both on its size and position of the injury. Therefore, brain damage does not destroy one specific function in the brain, it impacts the balance of the functions, meaning different parts of the brain work codependently with each other, laying the foundations of brain dynamics theory. Dr. Gonzalo identified 3 syndromes: central, where multiple senses are disrupted; paracentral, where the effects of disruption to multiple senses is not evenly distributed; and marginal, where only specific senses are affected. However, despite the very odd symptoms, patient M, according to Dr. Gonzalo, had a pretty normal life, worked the land, had a family, and kids. The best part of the story is the fact that the two became close friends. The boys might as well crack the cold one occasionally, all while conducting decades of studies and changing the world of neurology in the meantime. Thanks to a very random and fascinating event, we now know more about how life works. It's beautiful how somebody's close encounter with tragedy made life easier for many others. Talk about a stroke of luck. Alright, this is all for this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe. And if you didn't, don't forget to subscribe. Who knows, maybe you will like the next one. And if the next one doesn't work, I'll keep trying until you find something thumbs up worthy. I am Yonka, and this is Blank Note. Thank you for watching.